Alright guys, Airsoft Wizard here today to inform you how to make a well-reliable MOSFET um, based upon the fact that, people are always getting these 3034 MOSFETs and following this design that's an unconventional design on YouTube. And I've looked into that, and honestly, that manufacturer that makes the IRF, or is it IRF or RLB 3034 PBF MOSFET, the people that make that don't make a very reliable MOSFET. Half of them burn out all the time, things like that, and you're never gonna be able to um, really get a good solid MOSFET. And sometimes, well, most of the time, everyone that I've made that has actually been a success has actually decreased my rate of fire about like 1 or 2 rounds per second, which isn't a significant amount, but if you're doing it by rounds per minute and you look at the difference, it's a lot, in a sense. But one thing I want to go over here and cover is that people look at this and you can't really tell what it is because I have this heat sink on here, but this is a IRF 2804 N-channel MOSFET, and this, in my opinion, is better than the 3034 based upon the fact that it shoots a little bit faster than the 3034, and with the right stuff, for instance, this heat sink and Arctic Silver, just a little bit underneath it, put that heat sink on there. And the heat sinks that I'm using, I got this off Amazon, and I can't really remember the price right now, but you get 20 pieces and they're the perfect size, and it's just a mini heat sink. That's all you got to type in on Amazon and you'll find these, and these are really good. They actually reduce the heat a lot. So a lot of people's complaints with the 2804 model is simply because of that heat, and if you get that, you're guaranteed to have a really good MOSFET, really reliable. Now, starting off with the resistors here, I've got a 2.2K and then a 100 ohm resistor. These are both 1/4 watt. The different colors is because of the different brands that make them. Now this one comes in like a few different colors that I've seen based upon brand, but the initial stripe should be somewhere similar, anyways, so yeah, it's 100 ohm and then a 2.2K, and then here's a 1.5 KE 18 volt transil diode, and this one is a little bit different than your other standard big fat, TVS bidirectional 5K P18A, something like that, or 18CA bidirectional diode. And this prevents static discharge, things like that. For instance, any type of resistance that really makes this thing heat up, that's going to help prevent that compared to their other. Now this one doesn't soak up as much, voltage per se, even though it's a 18 volt, diode basically. It doesn't do that job that the bigger one does. But since this thing's already got a 40 volt diode built into it, it's kind of pointless of getting the other one and just really having this one. I think it's better for this unit. On top of that, I get a go to Walmart and I buy this. They come in like a pack of like 5 or 10 or something like that. I can't remember. They're just little 30 amp fuses, little mini fuses, and they're really good too. Just put that on the red wire. Just cut the red wire in half. Put one to the other side, and bam, there you go. You've got yourself a little decent fuse. That also takes down a lot of that, a lot of those voltage spikes, that static. Every time you connect the wires together, it'll spark and things like that. And that's what a fuse will do, is it'll reduce a lot of that spark, thus meaning reducing heat. And then of course, this right here, I've got a number 6 screw. And you're thinking, well, if I'm going off base, using the 3 prongs here, Why do I need that? Well, I typically like to screw that into a little sheet of cardboard, a small little sheet of cardboard that I put that over to make it more secure. When I'm putting it all together and soldering and everything like that, I just like put on a little small sheet of cardboard to make everything a little bit more sturdy. Makes it easier to solder as well when it's all held down and in place. So that's what I use. And what you'll do is you'll take the far right one and I bend it to the side and around like a U shape. And then from there I have it leaded to the battery. And then the middle one here, that one's just my negative wire. And then my left one over here is the signal wire. And that's the one that will have the 100 ohm. And the 2.2K will wrap from the far right to the far left. You'll just have the whole resistor on that black there by the back close to the heatsink. And that's where it'll be at. And then that diode, when that's bent around, it's kind of at an angle, at a slant. And so I bend this. Let's go ahead and take this here, and I'll give you all an example of what exactly I'm going to be doing here. Of course, I'll cut it down and everything when time comes to it, but I'll just go ahead and show you the initial shape that I do. And this will be wrapped around here, and this will be onto that. So, and then of course, I end up snipping down some of these ends here. I'll show you, like that, and then that right there. And that's what I'll end up doing for that, is I'll end up snipping just that and that. And that's pretty much it. And I know this video doesn't sound professional and I just kind of rambling on a little bit here and there, but I'm just trying to get a point across, guys, for those of you that are viewing my video. I know I'm not the best at speaking or performing a speech while trying to professionally show all this stuff, but point being here is that I'm here to simply help out those who are tired of all the BS while going on to YouTube and researching, hey, how to do this or how to do that, and then you find out later the design isn't that great or that's an old ass video. Well, those of you that really want to get cut past all the bullshit and all that stuff, this is the way to do it. I also came up with a design recently where I put two MOSFETs in sync, two 2804s, and there was zero heat whatsoever without a heat sink. There was no need for a heat sink. They were both N channel. I will say the rate of fire slightly dropped because it has to work through two MOSFETs. But if you want that secure protection while running a high voltage LiPo, I recommend figuring out a way to wire those together. So what you do is, in that case, for the dual N-channel MOSFETs, you would take that middle pin and you would bring it down to the second unit, and where the far right one is, the far right pin is where it's wrapped around the corner here, you would put that middle one to that, and then you do the same thing as you would with the other MOSFET as far as shape goes, where the 100 ohm would go with a signal wire, and then the negative wire coming down from the to the motor, and then that's going up into the other MOSFET and back and forth. And then for the signal wires, what you'll do is you'll take that other 100 ohm and then connect it to this one with this signal, so that way the signal's attached. and then run that to the trigger contacts. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. As far as that goes. What I recommend with those dual MOSFETs is I do dual heat sinks. You know, these obviously you're going to need two of these, two 2.2Ks, 200 ohms, and then you're probably going to want two of these. And then I'd run a 14.8 volt battery in your medium gear set gun if you want to try to get a faster rate of fire without blowing a MOSFET that's homemade and having a very fast trigger response, because not only is it 14.8 volt, but you're also having a direct MOSFET going to the motor, you know, opening up those gates like that, you know, in a sense. But yeah, I think I pretty much covered over everything that I wanted to go through with this, and thanks for watching. Airsoft Wizard signing out.